Hi again, let's have one more lecture about errors in Python, and this particular lecture will be about handling errors. Handling errors can be an advanced concept to digest for now, because you're still going through the basics of Python and you haven't seen any real application yet. But later we will use error handling when we're building real-world applications. So you're going to understand error handling better later on. For now, let's just focus on the syntax and try to understand as much as you can. I'll go and do an example here, which I mentioned earlier. Let's say we have a function that does division between two given numbers, like that. Return A divided by B. And then you call the function here, divide 1, 2. In this case, the function will try to divide 1 by 2. And let me print out the output so that we can see it on the terminal. Go to the terminal and execute the script, so you get 0.5. Now that's good. However, if the user enters, let's say, 0 there, like that, execute, and your program will crash, so it will show an error. Now this one here is an example of a longer error message that I mentioned previously in the previous videos, that you might have more than one error in your traceback. So for instance, this says file line 4, this line here. So that line is where Python captured the error at first. So basically Python was trying to execute this line, but it couldn't do it. It didn't manage to do it because this line was trying to get the information from this function. And this function was trying to do this mathematical operation using 0 after the division. So that is not possible, and Python is pointing that out here. So that's the main error in line 2 in this expression. So that's where you should focus. However, when you ask questions, you should include the entire error message in your question, as I mentioned previously. So back to handling errors now. What I'm trying to say here is that if you had other functions here and other lines of code that you want to execute, that you want Python to execute, but if the user passed this 0 number here, the other lines would not be executed, so your program would crash, and you don't want that. And the way to avoid that is by using try and except. So basically you try to capture the exception, to handle the exception, and the way to do that is quite easy. Try, you say try and return AB, so this has to be indented like that. So try is indented because it's under the function definition, and then return is indented because it's under the try expression. Then you have except, execute. So this has to be in the same indentation level with try. They are the same block. So except, if there is an exception, what you want to do is print out you are dividing by 0, or is meaningless. So let me try this now. And you get 0 division is meaningless, and none. Oh, sorry, I meant to do here a return, not print. I explain you why you get none there. And so you got none as an output because what the function did was it tried to do this expression, but it got an error, so it ignores this line, it doesn't execute it, and then it goes to the next line. So this line is executed when this is not executed. And so it printed out 0 division is meaningless, but it also printed out none because when you execute a function that doesn't have a return statement, such as in this case, we had a print statement here, a print function, not a return statement. In that case, if the function is not returning anything, it can have a print function or other function as well. But if it doesn't have a return statement, then it will print out none. So basically, it executes the other procedures, such as the print statement, it prints out the statement, but if it doesn't have a return statement, it prints out none. Anyway, save this now, execute again, and in this case you get only this. Zero division is meaningless, printed out there. So basically, if you had other lines of code here, like that, those would be executed as well. And that happens by using the try and except block, which makes sure that the code flow continues. So, one other important thing to note is that it is advisable to actually here use the exact name of the error that you want to accept. So, zero division error. And as you see, this got turned into blue. Which means that this is actually a Python keyword. It's recognized by Python. And in that case, if you execute this, you get the same output actually, like that. Or if you pass a number there that it is possible to get a division from, you'll get that. Sorry about the backslash. I typed that by mistake on my terminal. Execute again, so you get this. And so what I'm trying to say about the zero division error is that, sometimes you might get other types of errors in your code, other types of exceptions. So let's say you have a name error there, and you are saying that accept all errors. When you don't pass this, you're basically including all types of errors there, and that is a bit dangerous for your code because you might have problems that you don't notice. And basically you are ignoring them, but you shouldn't. So it should be specific there, explicit, like that. If there are other types of errors, such as a name error, that name error will crash your program, so you know what's going on. And you need to be specific. If you want to handle that error too, then you can add another exception here, except name error for instance. Yeah, that's about handling errors in Python. I hope this makes sense. I hope I explained this well, and yeah, this is about errors. I'll talk to you in the next lectures. See you.